the way you do now, the next 10 years would look exactly like the last 10 years. This is the phenomenon responsible for why so many people have stagnated financially. I personally know people who have been on the same financial spot, marking time, for 37 years, for 40 years. I know people, and it's always a mystery to me. It's always a mystery to me. Some of them people I grew up with, some of them people I schooled with, and I've never ceased being amazed how these people just stagnated, like almost permanently. Financial stagnation. So we're going to deal with financial stagnation this evening. If you have a family member or a friend who is suffering from financial stagnation, this is a good time to tell them to come and join this session. So put a like to this and also share it so that it will go around and people can. And then I believe too that you are going to learn a lot, many practical things, about money, because you see, when it comes to money, many people are not broke. Being broke is not really the issue. People are just disorganized with their finances. People are just disorganized. How do I know? Because I was like that. Disorganization with money. Because I had a lot of money, but because I had disorganization, I was disorganized. I was stagnating financially. So I needed to give me the next couple of minutes, and I will show you why your money behaves the way it does and how to finally take control. And the reason I have been doing this series is that many people think that the problem is money. Many people think that their problem is lack of money. But it's not. It's something deeper. You see, because for you to create wealth and become financially comfortable, what I've learned over the past 60 years is that there are only three skills that you need. Only 3 skills. Type 3 skills. Everybody, type 3 skills. Type 3 skills in the comment section. You only need 3 skills to achieve financial freedom. We complicate it. I do not know, because people complicated it for me when I was growing up and trying to master my money. People complicated it. I wish there was someone like me who made it easy, who made it as easy as I'm making it for you. In fact, there was somebody like that. I have to acknowledge Robert Kiyosaki, because that was the guy that, his book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, gave me financial deliverance. Because I had so much money, access to money, but I just couldn't manage it. So what are these 3 skills? Skill number 1, the skill to make money. Please type it in the comment section. Make money. Make money. Because that's where it all begins. It's a skill. Making money is a skill. And for a lot of people, they think that the only way money comes is to pray for miracle. And people go for miracle money. They go for miracle money services. I can't believe the level of, I don't want to say the word. When it comes to money, it's like people just become absolutely stupid, especially when it's mixed with religion. I saw video clips where people went for miracle money service, and then their prophet, their man of God, said, everybody take out your phone, take out your cell phone. And then he started prophesying to their phones. He started commanding the banks. He said, Zenith Bank, I command you to send money to the phones. And then they will shout, Amen. And then they will say, First Bank, I command you, send money to their phones. And people were shouting, Amen. GT Bank, I command you, send money to their phones. Send money, miracle money. And people were shouting, amen. I can't believe it. In fact, as God is in heaven watching Africans, I don't know what he's thinking. That's not how money, that's not a skill. Prophecy is not a money-making skill. Religion is not a money-making skill. There are skills for making money. How long are we going to be dumb? There are skills for making money. And the miracle money is not a skill. Okay. So, skill number one, skills to make money. And then a lot of people complain to me, like, I have been telling people that this is a great time to buy up investments in the stock market. Because the stock markets are, the prices of these companies are dead cheap. In fact, in another 2 months, in another 2-3 months, you can't get the kind of prices you're getting. And I'm telling people, invest now. And people are saying, we don't have money to invest. And someone wrote me, he said, all these things I'm talking about, that he's learning a lot, but that his problem is that he's only earning 70,000 naira a month. How can he be part of it? So I said, number one, nobody destined. It's not like, how do I say this? Nobody decreed. It's not like a government law or like a spiritual law that you should earn that particular amount of money. If you want to earn more than 70, you can. 70K, you can. Nothing is stopping you. If you want to earn more than 1 million or 2 million, nothing is stopping you. There's nothing written on your head or over your head and say this person shall never make this more than this amount of money. The only thing stopping you is that you lack the skill to make money. What is the most important skill to make money? Can somebody tell me? Type in the comment section. Guess, what is the most important money-making skill? Festus says, I heard that my traditional worshiping brother used to mock me because of the useless things the pastor was commanding his followers to do. Yeah, it's actually, I didn't know. It's terrible. What is the number one? Okay, Solomon says information. Yeah, go ahead. What do you consider the most powerful, let me not say number one, let me say the most powerful money-making skill? Machiavelli, I agree with you, sales. But there's something before sales. Sales is truly the selling. I agree. It's actually is perhaps the number one money-making skill. But there is one I consider the most important. Selling is number one. Selling is number one. I can see clarity. I agree with you. Clarity is a money-making skill. Okay, so let me tell you the most important, not necessarily number one. Selling is number one. But the most important money-making skill is building up yourself to become a high-value individual. It's building up yourself. It actually starts with yourself, because you cannot earn more than who you are. Because wealth is not what you have. Wealth is who you are. Why is it that some people command more value than others? Even though they went to the same school, they have the same qualifications, they are into the same kind of business. But you see someone in the same sector, in the same business, in the same fish farming, in the same import and export, in the same manufacturing of noodles, you see one noodle manufacturer making $10 million a year, and you see this other one struggling to make $200,000 or even $100,000 a year. The same thing. Then you see some individuals, when you invite them, like so many years ago, more than 10 years ago, John Maxwell was invited I think by the Nigerian government or something, or the Senate, to come and do a 45-minute talk or something there. And then somebody in the news said that the guy was paid $1 million for 45 minutes. Why will they pay John Maxwell, pay a John Maxwell $1 million for 45 minutes, and then they don't pay you anything? And they don't pay you anything for showing up. Value. The man has built up himself to be a person of value. So the more valuable you are, the more income you command. That should be an aha moment for somebody. Type it in the comment section. The more valuable you become, the more income you command. Very, very true. Build up yourself to be a person of value. And so, when you have built yourself as a person of value, then selling, the skill of selling is powerful. You can literally sell yourself out of any financial struggle you are in right now. You can literally sell yourself out of financial problems, out of poverty. So selling is great. But before you sell, you've got to build yourself, become a person of value. Then go ahead to develop high income skills that can help you. Okay, so financial stagnation is a common thing. If you look around you, actually, do you know someone? Do you have a friend, a relation, a former schoolmate, or somebody who has financially stagnated? Type yes in the comment section if one person at least comes to your mind. Somebody who has been in the same financial, how do you know them? Every time they call you, like in the past 10 years, the past 15 years, every time they call you, it's always, please, can you find me this amount of money? I can't pay my children's school fee, or my rent is due. They always, there are people who call me like that, And it's not just that, they did it for 1 year. But for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, every time rent is due, they are calling. That's financial stagnation. Okay? Yes. I can see a couple of people say they know people like that. Okay. So I've met people too with the same salary band. There are people who earn the money, same salary band, same debt, same bills, same financial frustrations for a decade or so. Okay, so skill number 1, I was talking about the 3 skills for financial freedom. The only 3 skills for financial freedom. So number 1 is make money. Okay, the skills to make money. The second skill is a skill to manage money. You can't do without any of them. You can't have one and not the other. So, because I also know people who make money so easily. One man who had worked with me in the early days of my work, of my consulting, makes money so easily. He is a fantastic money magnet, makes so much money, But this guy doesn't keep money, He makes so much money, but he doesn't keep it. He's always in perpetual lack. He's always asking for money. And he's like, wait a minute. The other day, you just made so much money. Why? Because if you make money and you can't manage it, you are still in the same financial stagnation. The third skill is multiply money. The skill to multiply money. Because it's not enough to make money. It's not enough to manage it. Because if you manage it, in fact, if you're just managing, inflation will continue to make you poorer. And then for those of you who live in developing countries where devaluation is very, very rampant, it continues to make you poorer. So you must know how to multiply your money and to multiply it beyond inflation. If inflation in your country is double digits, like 20-something%, 25%, because we have some crazy inflation numbers, then you've got to know how to multiply your money such that it can be higher your returns can be much higher than inflation. So if your cost of borrowing in your country interest rate is 30% like it is in some West African countries, and then inflation is 25%. If you're making anything, if you have an investment that's making anything less than 55% or 60%, you are not growing financially. So you have to understand the skills to multiply money and to leverage it and then to multiply money. Okay, so now what we're going tonight is to fix the real issue. It's not your income, it's not your hustle, but the structure that guides your money every single day. The rails, the lack of rails that you don't have, lack of structure that you don't have for your money. Because once there's structure, you create a structure for your money, everything else follows. So imagine water just flowing on a flat surface. It's just flowing and then spreading everywhere. If the water is just flowing, you pour water on this table and it's just flowing. But if you build a channel for it, you build structure. You see, that water follows that structure, and then that structure leads it somewhere. It takes it to where you want it to go. It's the same thing with your money. For many of us, our money doesn't have structure. We don't have channel for it. We don't have rails. And then because of it, we are where we are. So I'm going to give you 10 simple money management techniques or tactics that yield real results. So get your pen ready and get your typing fingers ready as we take tactic number 1. Automate what your brain will sabotage. Automate what your brain will sabotage. See, human beings are built for survival, not for financial discipline. Your brain loves to enjoy right now. It loves pleasure now, not wealth later. So our natural proclivity is to enjoy now, is to spend now, have pleasure now, not to think about the future, not to think about wealth later. That's a natural brain. So your brain just loves it. Enjoy now. So this is why the behavioral psychologists, call us victims of present bias. The present, living for the present. So we are victims of the present bias, all of us. And so instead of fighting with the natural wiring of your brain, trying to use your willpower, just give yourself an advantage. The advantage of automation. Automation. If you don't automate some of these things, your brain will sabotage you. How can you automate? For instance, set up automatic transfers to your savings or investment account the moment your salary hits the account. Make it automatic. And then for some of us, we use apps, some banking apps that allow us to be able to do that. And for some of us, we do it as a matter of discipline. You can do it manually if you can do, but just make sure that you're aware that your brain doesn't think wealth later. It thinks in the present. You can also automate your bill payments so you stop losing money to late fees, especially for those of you in the Western nations where you have the credit system. And then you can also automate small weekly investments. So I know someone who invests in the IBTC mutual fund, which is a very good mutual fund. Like if I were investing in mutual fund, that would probably be my number one. And so the person invests a particular amount automatically every week. Okay, so doing this leverages what behavioral economists call mental accounting. We treat money differently based on where it comes from and where we put it. Very, very simple. By automatically moving the money that is coming in, you never feel like you lost it. I don't know if it happens to you. Like once money comes in, there's no if big money comes into my account, it cannot stay for 24 hours because as it's coming, before it came, it was already allocated, automated. So that makes it very, so when it goes there, I don't feel like that I lost it because it has gone to where it's supposed to be. And then, the interesting thing is that you can't spend the money that you never see. So when you've automated it, and then even while you were sleeping and your salary came in, and then 10% went straight into your investment account with your stockbroker, you don't feel that you've lost it, and it defeats that present bias. Have you noticed that it's hard to spend money that you don't see? And it's very easy to spend money that is sitting in your account. So the good thing is that automation doesn't ask you for permission. It doesn't get emotional. So your wealth grows even on days that you're tired, days that you're stressed, days that you're tempted, it grows. Once I've taken that money out, there's no amount of temptation. It's not there. It's not sitting in my account balance, in my bank. So there's no amount of temptation. If I go by the side of the road and I see a gadget or I see some beautiful suit or something, I can't be tempted because I can't pay for it. And at that time that I'm there looking at that cloth or that gadget or that new phone, I can't be tempted. I can be tempted, but I can't do anything about it because I can't suddenly reach out to my investment account to begin to take money to come and buy the share. In fact, it happened to me 2 weeks ago. Somebody showed me a very beautiful phone, very excellent Samsung phone. And because this person knows that I do a lot of videos every day, she said that Samsung actually has a far better video than iPhone, which is what I use. And she demonstrated it, and it was fantastic. And she had 2 of those phones, and she said she wanted to sell one. I really liked it. So I asked how much. I think it was about 1.3, 1.4 million or something. Now, that phone was fantastic. It folds. It's actually 3 folds. I don't remember. I think it folds like 3 times. Really, really slick. And the images were fantastic. So it was quite tempting. But I wasn't tempted because I don't have that money in my account. I moved it. So and then again, I'm like, well, what I'm using still works. Why would I actually put 1.3 million in a phone when I can actually at this time buy a stock for that 1.3 million that can multiply itself by 2 or 3 times just in the next 3 months? Because that's a cycle you have in the Nigerian stock market. November, December, the market is really down, and then by January, when the companies are releasing their results and corporate actions, everything just skyrockets. So that's a very good tactic. Automate it before your brain sabotages you. Tactic number 2, pay yourself first. The Richest Man in Babylon, that's a very good book. If you haven't read it, it popularized the idea of paying yourself first. That changed my life. Because, like he was saying, I think Robert Kiyosaki also mentioned it in Rich Dad Poor Dad. I think he said it as well. But the idea came from Richest Man in Babylon. In fact, the idea has been centuries old. When you get your salary, you pay everybody else and forget yourself. You pay bills, you pay electricity, you pay the grocery store, you pay your mechanic who is working on your car, and you don't pay yourself. So if you wait until the end of the month to save, you already know that you will save nothing, because life expands to fill your income. Same thing happens with human desire. It happened to me. As your income goes, I think it's called Parkinson's law or something like that. As your income grows, so do the mouths expand to fill it, and then unexpected expenses. So Paying yourself flips the script. What does that mean? Every single time money enters your life, whether it's salary or bonus or whatever, like many of you will receive the 13th month salary. That's double your salary this month. Whatever it is, take something and send it straight to your future. Even if it's 5%, even if it's 2%, but make sure your future self is never last. Pay yourself first. Take that money, send it to your investment account. Pay yourself. I saw a quote somewhere. It said poor people spend money and then invest what is left, but rich people invest money and then they spend what is left, or they save what is left. Let me say it again. It's really powerful. So the difference between the rich and the poor people spend money and save what is left. The rich people invest money, they save first, and then they spend what is left. So if your future self is always last, your future will always suffer. So make yourself the first beneficiary of your income, not the shops, not the restaurants. For goodness sake, not the apps, not emergencies. Before you pay any restaurant, before you pay anybody for food, pay yourself first. So that's tactic number 2. Tactic number 3, very, very powerful. Add friction to your spending. And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Add friction to your spending. How many times, just tell me, anybody here, how many times have you bought something on impulse only to regret it by the time you're getting home with it? Has it happened to anybody? Or you regret it even a week later? So this particular tactic is your emergency brake. So for any unplanned purchase over a particular amount of money, you can set for yourself, maybe you say $50, $100 or something, or even $20, or the equivalent in your own currency. You can impose a 24-hour cooling off period. You call it cooling off period. Do you know why? Because the world has made spending dangerously easy. Dangerously easy. It's so easy to spend money today. Much, much easier to spend today than it was in the 80s, in the 1980s or 70s as I was growing up. Even in the 1990s. Today you have one-click payment. You have saved cards. Your cards are saved. These smart e-commerce merchants, they save your card. Amazon saves your card, and different kinds of places. Even Apple, they save your card. So you have there's also instant debit, and then you have flash sales. And tomorrow is Black Friday, and then if you go to, I was trying to book a flight today to a certain country. And then I was looking at all the flights, Qatar, American Airlines, and all that. So, and then each of them, I was using Expedia. And each of them, you see, okay, this one, only one seat left. Has any of you seen it? Even in local flights, only one seat left, only 6 left. But if you go the next day, you will still see that same flight. So they've made it so easy for you to spend money. And then there are all kinds of notifications. If you have Temu app on your phone, you've got to turn off the notifications. So there are notifications triggering dopamine hits. So your brain does not stand a chance. So what you need to do is to create these tiny barriers that interrupt impulse buying. So here are some suggestions. This tactic you can make. So number 1, delete your saved cards from shopping apps. Delete it. Number 2, put a 24-hour waiting rule before any non-essential purchase. Yeah, you've gone to the supermarket, you've seen that gadget, you've seen whatever, you've seen the phone. Wait 24 hours before you buy. Keep your spending money in a separate account, if possible, with no card attached, if possible. But it's really good. but some people are able to do that. Turn off your shopping notifications. I had to do that for Temu. I just used Temu to buy some particular item that I usually will buy from Amazon, but because Amazon shipping is just incredibly expensive. You can order for something on Amazon for $150, and then the shipping will be $250. Terrible. So, but Temu, very smart guys, they ship for free. So I got this item there. Since I bought that thing, every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes, Temu, discount on this. Oh, you've just got a free gift. Oh, you got this thing, and then you click. They say, okay, buy something worth 200,000, and then you will get this 6 free. Horrible. So then avoid checking online stores when you are bored. It's a terrible thing to do. Because somehow you get addicted, and it becomes a coping mechanism. When you are bored, you go to shopping, you go to online stores. So that is bad. So cut unnecessary spending and sleep on it before you buy. So tactic number 4, curate your financial media diet. This tactic is about protecting yourself from the biggest financial enemy of the modern world: constant consumption triggers. Okay, this tactic is related to tactic number 3. So every day your phone quietly pushes you towards spending, marketing emails, discount alerts, all kinds of things. So what you want to do is to clean up your financial environment. Unsubscribe from marketing emails, unfollow accounts that trigger spending. Mute influencers. There are influencers who constantly show off new things. Just silence the noise. If you don't hear about these things, you won't spend. And it's not that these people triggering you to buy. It's not that they are going to give you money to do the buying. So while you are cleaning up all those things from your media, replace that with content that strengthens you. Follow educational channels like this one. Don't you love what you're hearing? Don't you love what you're hearing? Educating you on your personal finance, giving you the wisdom that simplifies money, that removes the complexity from money. So follow such channels, educators, philosophers, thinkers, creators who teach you discipline, who teach you simplicity, who teach you patience and long-term thinking. Not all these influencers, who come and they are, telling you, look at how much I have, look at my car, look at the house I live in, look at my private jet. Unfollow those people. They are not helping you, okay? Because they are using this social proof thing to deceive you. Tactic number 5. Give every dollar or cent or rand or CD or kwacha, give every dollar a job. Please type this in the comment section. Give every dollar a job. Money that has no assignment always finds trouble. And then if you do not give your money assignment, it almost always defaults to entertainment, to something useless. Somebody, a poor person, that a really struggling gentleman, who, does some work around in the neighborhood. One day he got a jackpot. He got some work, and he does all these, heavy manual work. And he made a lot of money at that time. And the very first thing he did, he went to the bar. He was telling me this story. He said he went to the bar, bought beer for 15 people. And then he was proudly telling me that that at the end of it, that he just went home with 2,000 naira. Hey, my God. I just said, poverty indeed is wicked. Poverty is wicked. Wicked. I will spend that money differently. The amount of money he mentioned that he earned that particular day, he went into a bar, bought beer for 15 people. Can you imagine that? So sometimes you actually, get this feeling that poverty is actually deserved. I'm telling you. So money that has no assignment always finds trouble. Some of us use our money, instead of building our lives and building our families, we use our money to find trouble. Okay, so before the month begins, tell your money what is for bills, what is for food, what is for transportation, what is for savings, what is for investing, what is for giving, what is for enjoyment. Because I'm also of the opinion that you need to set, I will still talk about it later, you need to set apart some money to enjoy your life. Just do it responsibly. It's okay to set apart some money to enjoy your life. So you can call it like your slush fund. Tiny thing. Because once in a while, I do buy things I really like to eat. Of course, not the sugars and things like that. There's, I like dried fish. And it's extremely expensive. Very expensive. Many of you know now, is beyond the reach of even middle income households. So, but I do set aside some slush fund to buy that. Close my eyes and buy that. So what that does is it prevents what we call budget rebellion. Because if your budget is always so tight, at some point you just rebel, say, this budget self, let me, I can't die, like they say in Nigeria, I can't come and kill myself. So making allowance, for that slush. So tell your money what is for all those things, what is for enjoyment, what is for emergencies. Because when money has purpose, you stop guessing. That's the good thing about it. And then your life becomes calmer and your decisions become sharpened. Businesses do it. That's why businesses have cash flow projections. They tell their money where to go even before it comes. Countries do it. Countries have a budget. So every year they say, okay, this amount of money is going to education, this is going to health, this is going to social services, this is going to roads, this is going to infrastructure. Countries do it. So you should tell your money where to go. Tactic number 6, build a simple 30-day cash flow plan. This is really one of my strongest tactics in managing money. This is a very strong tactic in managing money. Okay? Create a 30-day cash flow plan, and you can start even with 7 days, because financial stress often comes from surprises, not from poverty. So unexpected bill, a forgotten subscription. It happened to me once. Hefty subscription. One day I just got an alert, from my bank. I use Bank of America. Hefty amount of money. So I alerted the bank immediately. I said, I don't know where this money came from. And then it turned out to be subscription I had done. I had forgotten to. And this thing was about like $300 or so. And it just came. I said, what? I never spent this money. So fortunately, I was able to work with my bank for them to refund that money, because I said, you people should have a way of alerting me, because companies that offer subscription services do it. When it's about to renew, they send you an email and tell you your subscription is renewing in the next 2 weeks. If you don't want to go and cancel it. And then this company didn't do that. And then I even discovered that they had even taken the money the previous year, and I didn't know. I recovered all of them. So, but when you do a cash flow plan, it can save you from these surprises that create financial stress. Okay, so a monthly cash flow plan eliminates that stress. Your plan will include, since it's cash flow, a list of all your income sources. What is coming from where? Your salary, your YouTube income, if you have YouTube income, your dividends, wherever. You list all your incomes, and then you list all your fixed expenses, and then you list all your variable expenses. Then assign spending amounts to each. Assign an amount to each of them. And you don't need to be exact, you don't need to be scientific or clinical about it, just assign, good estimate, and then predict your end of month balance. And as you're going on, adjust if you see a shortfall. Tactic number 7 is called dollar cost averaging. This tactic protects you from market panic, and it helps you to invest consistently without emotion. So it's called dollar cost averaging. What does that mean? Okay, so like many of you see what's going on in the different markets around the world today. The crypto market is crazy. It's driving people crazy. People are hurting themselves because, you can go to bed with your portfolio showing $50,000, and then you wake up and then it's $37,000, and then you wake up the next day, it has become $25,000. In fact, some portfolios were down by as much as 70-80%. And I have some crypto assets that went down to 70%. In other words, if I invested $1,000, I only had about 300 in that portfolio. So the market is crazy. Also happens in the stock market. So dollar cost averaging means that you keep buying. So you buy the dip, like the market has actually dipped right now. If I have decided that a particular asset, a particular company I'm invested in is, that it has very good fundamentals, they are into a very profitable business. They have been paying dividends consistently for the past 10 years or more. They have been having consistent profits, every quarter. They have great management. They have a great product that the world can do without. So there are companies like that. I keep on buying. So for instance, Presco, one of my favorite investments. I keep buying. I have bought Presco at 450. I have bought Presco when it was 700. I have bought Presco when it was 900. I have bought Presco when it was 1,000. And I just bought at 1,400, and I took up the rights. I have bought at 1,450. I have bought at 1,400. So it's called dollar cost averaging. So over time, you are averaging, but the market keeps growing. So it's a very important way to manage your money, okay? Without a very important tactic. So don't wait for perfect time, because a lot of people try to time the market. So don't chase news headline and don't react to market noises. Just buy the market steadily, month after month. So you can say, okay, every month I'm going to put $100 in this stock, because that's, for instance, your retirement stock. So it doesn't matter whether that month it goes up to 5,000 or it comes down to 15. If it is 5,000, you buy. If it is 1,500, you buy at any particular time, because every month I'm investing $100. Okay, so it works because it removes your emotions from investing. And when prices fall, your fixed amount buys more units. When prices rise, it buys fewer. But over time, you naturally average out the cost, okay? So, and then it protects you from two dangerous biases. One is the market timing bias. People believe that they can predict high and lows. It just saves you that stress. And then there's also the narrative fallacy. Those of you in investment, narrative fallacy, reacting to stories and drama instead of data. Okay, tactic number 8, I call it the barbell budget. Barbell, B-A-R-B-E-L-L. The barbell that you use, is it barbell or barbell that you use in the gym? Okay, so now, people hate budgeting because it feels like punishment. And I confess that there were some times that I really just didn't like budgeting and all that, so there are too many categories, too many rules, too much guilt. So what the Bible budget solves that by making and simple, making it flexible, and then realistic for real life. So you think about that bubble, it's got weight on both ends and then a simple bar in the middle. So your budget works the same way. You only manage two things. End one, fixed costs, and then end two handles the what I call your freedom fund. So your fixed costs might include the essentials that you must pay every month. So your rent or your mortgage, your utilities, your basic groceries, transportation, if you're paying some minimum debt on your credit card or something, and then some subscriptions. So these ones don't change. They keep your life stable. So your bubble budget, and the first end is those fixed ones. Then the second one, the second end is freedom fund. So this everything else, the flexible fund, the everyday spending that you do, and whatever is left after savings and fixed costs becomes your freedom fund. Okay, so that instead of managing 37 subcategories, you're only managing 2. Okay, tactic number 9, remove emotion from decisions. That's a money management skill because there have been quotes. I can't say it exactly the way Warren Buffett has said it, for instance. There are situations where, he says something about emotion. When you don't control your emotion, you're going to make deadly money mistakes. Okay, so, and then of course, people talk about fear and greed. Those are emotions that hurt investors. So emotion is the enemy of financial wisdom, and history proves it. And psychology also confirms it. So make a personal rule, for instance, that no financial decisions, you won't make financial decisions when you are angry. Don't borrow when you are afraid. That's number 2. I tell my business clients, because actually many of you don't know, my main work is I consult for businesses. I lead retreats for corporate organizations. I train leaders for organizations like MTN, organizations like Flutterwave, and different organizations. That's actually the main thing I do. So, and I tell my clients, the best time to borrow money is when you don't need it. If you borrow when you are desperate, it can be very catastrophic, because what I've seen in the consulting space is that most small businesses are literally working for the bank. So don't borrow when you're afraid. This one is interesting. Don't also invest when you are too excited. When you are too excited, I've been excited about a particular stock. I won't mention that stock. And I bought it I was excited about it. I just heard one piece of news and I bought it. In fact, I sold that particular stock today at a huge loss. I lost 6 figures, but I had to sell it because there was another opportunity. I said, well, rather than keep this terrible stock, let me, so I bought at a certain price. The next day, the price, came down 10%. The next day, 10%. It's been falling since that time. So don't invest when you are overexcited. And then it also happens to me, when I set limit orders and I'm watching the bids and offer dynamics in the market, and I'm like, oh my goodness, there are more bids are coming. The offers are reducing. And then I will now raise my limit, only for the thing to now come down, back again to, so don't invest when you are too excited. Don't make big purchases when you are stressed. When you are stressed. And this is why I had mentioned before, when you are bored, don't go shopping. When you're feeling lonely, when you're feeling hurt by your wife or by your husband, don't go shopping. Okay? And then sleep before any expense above a certain amount. So you can say anything above $500 or $200 or the equivalent in your currency, or depending on your own situation, anything above $1,000, I will sleep over it before buying. This particular thing has saved me so much because I see a piece of equipment. I just love equipment. In fact, there's one I have. One day I'm going to show you, take a picture and show you guys. Just right there. I just bought this equipment. This was 2022 or so. High pressure washer. $5,000, excluding the shipping. $5,000. 3 years. It's there. For 3 years. It's been there. Horrible. And I didn't sleep over that thing. I just saw it in America. I loved it. I saw it with a gentleman, a friend, and he's like, oh, I would like to have this sort of thing. I can actually start a business using this high pressure washer. It's a big high pressure washer. It's got a port for hot water. It's got a diesel and gas tank. Very huge thing. I bought it. That's money tied down for about 3 years now. I bought that thing, I think, 2022. That's money tied down. So sleep before you make any expense above a certain amount of money. And then this rule also protects you from scams. You see, the way you're working hard to make money and protect your money and multiply your money, that is also how scammers are working hard to take that money off from you. Scammers are everywhere. It also protects you from predatory loans. It protects you from pressure purchases and from panic selling. Okay, so your calm mind is your wealth investing mind. So tactic number 10, and this is the last one. So tactic number 10, this is the undefeated rule of wealth. This is a rule. It's both a tactic and it's a rule. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. Repeat. Please, if you didn't hear anything this night, listen to this one. Spend less than you earn, whether it is 70K or 7 million or 700,000. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. Repeat. That's a three step instruction. Spend less than you earn. Invest the difference. Repeat. It's simple, it's boring, but it's unstoppable. Okay, so every empire, every wealthy dynasty, every successful household, what I just told you is the engine. In my own house and personal finance, is the engine. And I was making a lot of money, working for Shell, working for Chevron. I was not wealthy. It was actually after I left paid employment that I started building wealth, which was strange. Considering the insane amount of money I was paid in those two companies. I started my career with Shell, and then Chevron offered something almost 3 times what Shell was paying me. I left Shell, went for Chevron. Worked for Chevron for 6 years. Shell came again and offered a mouth-watering offer. I couldn't say no. So I left Chevron. I went back to Shell. Lots of money. And then I quit Shell, broke. How do you explain something like that? So it doesn't matter how much you're earning. If you don't obey this simple rule I've just given you right now, the future is going to be very difficult, financially speaking. But I trust that since you follow me and since you're in this channel, I trust that you're actually sincere enough to want to change your financial future patiently, slowly, using the wisdom I'm teaching you. Don't worry about the fast lane, and don't worry about all the fast things that people are doing, and just follow the simple rule. Spend less than you earn, invest the difference, rinse and repeat. That's all. Okay, so money doesn't respond to wishes. Money responds to systems. And today you've learned 10 simple systems that can change your life. If you apply them, even if it's imperfectly, your financial results will begin to shift, not in years, but in weeks. especially as we are going into the new year. Apply this simple money management tactics because they yield real results. Okay, it's time to hear your aha moments. So type your aha moments. And for those of you in the financial fitness group, my mentorship group, please type your aha moment. I prefer you type it in the Telegram group. Everybody else, type your aha moment in the comment section here. And if you want to join my wealth mentorship group, the details are in the description of this video. Okay, what are your aha moments and what are your questions? Everybody, type it in the comment section if you have a question, and type your aha moments. And those of you just joining, let me know what country you're joining us from. And for those of you who listen, who watch this channel but you haven't subscribed, take a moment and do that. And if you haven't liked this and shared it, please take a moment and do that as well. Okay. Augustine says money doesn't respond to wishes. Yes, but to systems. Absolutely. Okay. Festus says, yeah, number 10. Okay. Spend less than you earn, invest the difference, repeat. Absolutely. Thank you so much for tonight's session. You are welcome. Okay. Ebube says, aha moment is give every dollar a job. Marshall says, money doesn't respond to wishes, it responds to systems. Okay, Festus says, my aha moment, spend less than you earn, invest the difference, repeat. Okay, Ebube also talks about give every dollar a job. That's amazing. Okay. Give every dollar a job. Okay, don't make big purchases when I'm stressed. Yes, absolutely don't. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a wonderful night. So whatever happens, keep showing up because you have no idea what's coming your way next. I love you, and I'll see you at exactly the same time tomorrow. We run these live sessions Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. GMT +1 every day. All right, so wherever part of the world you're watching from, you have a good evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Good night.